Boom. All right. Should be good to go now. Wait for this lag. Boom. Yep. All right. We're all set. Sweet. Hello, everyone. Welcome to SEO This Week, episode number 68. As you know, I missed last week because I was on an airplane traveling. So get over it. If you missed me, though, I appreciate it. I do appreciate being missed. How's that sound? All right. Alrighty, got that all set up. Live chat's not showing up for some reason on the YouTube, so I'll have to refresh that a little bit, see what's going on. Okay, do this. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Not much going on in the SEO world. Sarcasm. The March 5th core update / spam update. It's kind of got everyone up in a hubbub right now, which is interesting to me. They released it March 5th, and then March 6th, instantly, there's a whole bunch of people that got de-indexed. And if you look at the um, the pattern of de-indexing is, I see two groups of people that got popped. Now, mind you, I don't even think that was a core update or the spam update. I think it was manual team had a list of websites and stuff that they found, and they chose to do it all on the same day in conjunction with the updates, probably for specific reasons. In order to, I don't know, maybe, I mean, this is just a pure guess, but reduce the liability of the process and just have one team that, here, collect this whole thing, and then, all right, here's these lists of sites we want you to go crack down on, which is pretty interesting. So Jackie over at Indexy, he got his site that he publicly shared got de-indexed. Julian Goldie, the site that he cites or sites that he publicly shared got de-indexed. And there's a few others that I saw around, and there's two things that kind of really stood out to me. Is one, everyone that had a good audience size. There's a lot of people watching Jackie, and there's definitely a lot of people watching Julian. And because they were out saying, hey, look, here's AI, here's what you can do with it, here's you can teach it, here's how I'm ranking with it, et cetera, et cetera. And then also showed the websites. Google went after those websites and applied that manual penalty against them. Manual penalty. And I think in those cases, one, they're how does Google justify it? Is one, you're sharing a technique about using AI to generate content in order to manipulate the search results to make money. We're all here to manipulate the search results. Don't let anyone else fool you. If you're doing search engine optimization, you're here for the purpose of manipulating search results. And it's the methods in which you do it that are more important than the concept of manipulating search results, right? So in Julian's case, he showed a whole bunch of AI techniques, etc., that and then actually showed the websites that are doing it, because there's plenty of people in this world that, oh, I don't believe you unless you show the website, blah blah blah. And I think Julian and probably was catering to that. I know that Andrew Ainsley is building a website in public. I haven't heard anything in regards to if his site was taken down, but he's openly using AI. He has an AI software and he's using it to create content, but he's not doing it at scale, as far as I know. I haven't looked at his case study website, but I know Inksy was doing. He was doing AI. I don't know if necessarily was at scale either. But he was doing AI and he was showing his site, and here's how I'm doing it. Here's the website I'm making. Here's and I think even he even went so as far as to, these are the links I'm buying, et cetera, et cetera. And he got popular. What happens when you get popular in the industry is depending on your position. So if you are a corporate type, agency type, or bigger, right? Then you get a pass on teaching a lot of that stuff. Although, be fair, that they wouldn't teach any of that stuff. That group doesn't necessarily teach SEO. They just talk shit about SEOs or talk shit about, their favorite thing that's going on at that point in time. So not necessarily, that group is pretty safe. They're never going to get penalized unless they get caught doing some of their shady shit. I know some of those people that claim to be white hat that are more black hat than I am. And the so so that being said, let me turn this shit off. It's distracting me. That leaves the other group. That's the I would argue that we're um small business owners who either run agencies or small business owners who put out information content or a hybrid of both. And then if you're a hybrid of both or doing the sole information content, you're essentially in the make money online niche. And so you want to sell courses or sell information or give information for free in order to gain a reputation, in order to either A, attract clients, or B, sell courses. Or in I think Julian's case, he's got a mastermind. I know that Inksy's got a group in those two particular situations. And so giving out free information and saying this is how I'm doing this, or we're going to build this case study and we're going to build it together in front of the thing is actually a good way to build an audience and to help people, legit help people. The downside is that if you get too popular, and Julian definitely got really popular because he was doing a lot of AI stuff, and a lot of AI stuff on YouTube is just generating a lot of traffic. Whether it's good AI stuff or bad AI stuff, it's just generating a lot of traffic because of the interest in artificial intelligence. And in that, the enterprise narc SEO team found Julian's channel, started slowly talking shit about him in Twitter. I don't know about other platforms. I know specifically Twitter, and bringing up every time he posted a video, and oh, look how bad this guy is, etc. And those groups of people know precisely what they're doing. They talk shit, and they do it so much that they know Google has to take action, and they're doing it intentionally. So don't let them fool you. They're not, just being bitter people about it. They're intentionally outing websites and outing content creators, etc., in order to get action taken against them, because that's just how shallow and petty those bitches are. So you can see when the March 5th was outed, and then March 6th, everyone woke up to de-index manual penalty websites. You can see the correlation there of all these creators that were doing a really good job helping people, helping small businesses who are competing on smaller budgets against some of these, um, you know, big horse companies, et cetera, or well-funded companies. Um, or affiliates for that matter, who have niche websites. And niche websites is another topic we'll get onto here in a second. um you could see how they thought that they were being targeted because they were wholeheartedly being targeted. And when they do manual penalties like that, this isn't the first time they got Kyle Roof. Um, and the process of how they got Kyle Roof is very similar to the process of how they got everyone else. And Kyle, in his case, he did the lorem ipsum websites. I don't know if you're aware of that test or not. It's been a while, but essentially he created some websites and he was testing his on-page methodologies that later ended up in Page Optimizer Pro. And he had 15 or so websites attached to that same search console, and they found all of his websites. They went to the one website that they knew they were going to penalize, and then they found the other 15 and de-indexed all 15 of them. Now, since then, Kyle has more of those lorem ipsum websites, and they still, to this day, rank in the number one or top 10, and in some cases, like top 30 rankings across the board. So they're all steady and safe all through these updates, etc. They're going and they're still going to this day. And I think that's what happened to Julian. Julian's website was outed. They found a couple more of his websites that he built in much the same way. They looked at the I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. The manual reviewer looked at the rest of the websites and said, "Oh, these all fit this same pattern," and de-index them via manual penalty. Same happened to Jackie. The other point, though, is now remember those enterprise fucktards over at SEOs that I was talking about. Those guys are now saying, "Oh, look, Google went after AI websites." There's people like Tony Hill saying they went after AI websites. And there's a bunch of people claiming AI websites, AI websites, AI websites. Look, they manual penalty AI websites. That is 100% not what they did. They manually penalized people that were using AI to build websites and did it in public to teach other people how to do it. And so to bring that point home, Jackie and Julian in particular both have multiple websites, and they had some in those search consoles, the index, and they had some out of those search consoles. Totally fine. So they weren't connected, and it wasn't an easy way for the manual reviewer that was assigned to those particular search consoles to identify there are other websites that were built the exact same way that they are teaching in their case studies, and those are doing just fine. I've seen examples of tons of AI based content websites that are doing fine. Um, then I've seen some other examples where there's AI-based websites supposedly not in the same search console that were hit. So if you take that, and then I've seen examples of human written content, supposedly human written, well curated written content that were also hit. So the the idea that AI content is what Google's going after is ludicrous because they're not doing that. They're what I think they're doing, and you guys can jump on me if you want. I think they're going after all these lazy ass people that are using shit cheap models and they're building those 10, 15, 20,000 page websites, and they're doing them at scale, and then they're monetizing with AdSense, etc., in order for the quick buck. Not hating on the hustle. I'm just saying that those are the websites that they're going after. I personally hate those websites because this is what happens to you. You build those, you make a whole lot of money, you get comfortable, you don't do any more work on real websites, and then Google comes and smacks you around, and now you're sitting on Facebook groups crying and Google de-index your site and how unfair it is. I think that if you're going to have some mass scale websites for that purpose. If you're going to build 10, 20, 15, you know, 20,000 page websites, then expect that those are going down. Build them like you know they're going down, and build them to protect your assets from each other. So if you have, say, two or three really good websites that you're building, they're in the process, and you have these throwaways that you're just using to generate money while you can, while they let you get away with it, then the last thing you need to be doing after they roll one of these out, or after you get caught, or after they find it, or after the signal in the algorithm says brand new website, 20,000 pages. That's weird. Take a look at this, and goes into the manual team review queue. Don't be pissed that they found you. Just accept it for what it is. So if you're going to play a black hat game, act like a black hatter and stop bitching about, penalties gone and all that other stuff. It happens. It's life. Now, what's going to happen with our content creators that are providing more information? Well, I think me in particular, anything that I do in regards to artificial intelligence, in the public will have to be well reviewed, edited, etc. I don't put anything on my websites anyway, or client websites that we haven't well reviewed, gone through three or four different iterations of looking at it, and then Grammarly to make sure everything's good. So I don't have to worry about that. But also, I probably won't be outing my project websites anymore, which sucks. And I can't out my domains for my testing domains anymore, because it's out there. Let's say if I do find something really cool and it's making an ass ton of money, or it has the potential to make you an ass ton of money, what happens is that method gets out, the videos get out, etc., and then shallow ass, low down, dirty people just do whatever they can to take stuff down. And all of the projects that I'm working on, save my test sites, my specific test sites for SIA, for example, are money sites or future money sites. So it's I have to be we all have to be careful now. And to me, I think that's a disservice, not only to me, because the quality of content I get the show is going to be less, especially if we're talking about tactics, etc. And then two, for you as the information consumer slash someone who's learning SEO slash someone who needs help, I mean, it makes it stupid dangerous. It was always dangerous to share your websites. Always dangerous to share your websites. Um, People are going to take your niche. People are going to copy your website and do exactly the same thing you do, et cetera, et cetera. There's always lazy fucks out there, but it was never as dangerous as it is now, because you can get caught up in the madness. And if there's, 10,000 so-called SEOs creating AI content and just blasting out, getting cheap bucks, et cetera, et cetera, um, and then you get rolled up into that because your stuff kind of looks similar to the same, then I'm sorry, but it's life. And you're gonna need more stuff. You're gonna need more stuff to get involved into that. But it is what it is. And then there is questions. Let me see. You can get a couple of comments in here too while we're got to pause. So I can't help but think this is possibly the biggest shakeup since Penguin. I they even say since that. I disagree. I think it's the biggest shakeup for the community. The community is like, oh, what the hell? But if you look at the actual search changes, the changes in the search results, the modifications, rank bouncing, et cetera, et cetera, this is barely even a third. I would even suggest that It's probably he hasn't even rolled out that much based off of my niches and my analysis of the ranking shifts. I mean, I haven't seen the whole lot. So I don't say it's as the reaction to the algorithm in the search results was not nearly as big as Penguin, but the reaction to the process and what they're supposedly going after from the SEO community, yeah, I agree. Big as Penguin. Armageddon for niche sites. Bullshit, Lewis. Tony Hill and a bunch of other people are spouting that bullshit. I think is wrong. I think it's the niche sites are totally fine. You know, you have a drone website, RC car website, motorcycle website, et cetera, et cetera. You're totally fine. When you go full retard and still build a niche site, 20,000 pages and have a publishing pace that just abnormally high, like Fox News can publish, I don't know, maybe 100 stories a day if they wanted to, but that would be pretty high, right? And so think about your niche website. If you're matching what Fox News is doing, then you might as well just put a sign on your back saying "shoot me." I disagree. Niche sites aren't dead. You just have to be smarter when you're building them. Don't go full retard. Do smaller tests. Like if you're doing a Craig Campbell kind of model where you publish 100 posts and you watch them for a month and then you optimize the 10 that are doing good, delete the 90 that are not doing good, that were not doing good, and do that. I would also probably say do that at a lesser scale, publish not 100 a month, maybe 50 a month. Just keep it lower so you're not triggering what the algorithm's tattletale signals, which to me seems pretty easy to do if you have a website that has X amount of traffic, which is considered low according to their standards, and is publishing 100 articles a day. You're probably getting ready for a manual review. That would be my assumption. It seems to me that would be easy to create though. If you want to find these spam sites, look at a publishing pace. Publishing pace, backlinks, index page count, and traffic. Look at those. You create these little filters, and then once if you trigger it, it goes over to the manual review team. Manual review team pops you. That's it seems easy to me that could be done. Pappas, good day. Hello. Derek Booth, welcome, sir. Other side of the pond. Hope you're doing well. Haven't talked to you in a while. Charles, how do you rank for a branded keyword if other websites use the same branded keyword term in the SERPs number one, two, three? Oh, you got to beat them at backlinks at that point. It's backlinks authority. If everyone has the same brand, you got to beat them in the authority game. Lewis, would you recommend each site has its own GSC account, even if white hat, just as a safety procedure? I think I would at this point, Lewis. I mean, their Google accounts are easy enough, and you can create one with each of the domain name email from each of your domains anyway. So it seems like a good methodology to adopt. As a matter of fact, even my clients, we're probably going to start moving them and putting them into their own GSC manager account. We have to look at that. Like, well, when we analyze the client's website, are they doing something kind of risky? If the answer is yes, then we'll put them in their own search console account. We just have throwaway Gmails, and we'll just put them in those throwaway Gmails versus our at main manager account. Keep the clients separate. That way, if one does something silly, then the rest of them don't pay the price. That seems like a good practice. Keith, will you change your registrar info? No, but I use Namecheap and I use privacy on everything anyway. I'm not into that whole tinfoil hat. Google has a registrar and they're going to match your registrars and all that stuff. That's just ego bullshit. I mean, the only way that would make any sense for a company that size to do that is if I had a couple 100,000 websites. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of other people that have way more websites and domains than me. So I think I'll be fine. Uh, in person, SEO conference is the only way to go. Video training is great. However, the process is burnt within weeks. Yeah, um, not always. I think it is true in some hacks, tricks and hacks processes, GMB verification methods, quick, easy ranking methods, etc. Those get burned out pretty quick because of abuse and because they're fast and easy to do. And so the more people are likely to do them. Real SEO work where you have, you're learning some processes and building things, et cetera, et cetera. Those take longer to implement and there's less people to implement them. So they last much longer. But I prefer real conferences these days anyway. But yeah, that's true. Derek, it amazes me how many people who are so-called experts who spout out things despite not having test sites. Yeah, I agree, Derek. Um, as a matter of fact, one of the list viewers shared a article with me. I'm not going to spread the article around because it's just trash anyway, but the White Spark people, and I forget the dude's name, was it Derek something or whatever? Um, He's out telling local businesses now don't do schema because it doesn't work. Um, and I'll, you guys all know my position on schema. I've taught schema. I have a course on schema. I think you should be doing schema. And if you're not doing schema, then you're a dumbass. But I like to extend my heartfelt thank you to Whitespark for making my competition dumber and making it easier to rank in the search results by reducing one of the methods that Google is using clearly to identify topics of a web page. So thank you very much. Um, let's see. Boris, how do you know that how do you know that you have over optimized a page? I have 100% exact anchors internal link for a page. It's on the second page. I did some diversification and now it's on page 8. Diversification. So what you did, Boris, is you did your 100% exact match anchors and then your domain's authority just leveled out. So easy way to test this is build a silo. So create a money page and then build silo pages to it. Interlink, interlink to that money page um, one at a time. And each time you'll see it go up. At some point, it's going to stop. And now you know how much power your website has. Digitally, my agency website, five. Last time I did a test, it was 5 pages. I can build 5 pages in my silo with exact MAC anchors until it stops. If I do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, doesn't help. Doesn't do anything. It's already in the wash, as it were. Doesn't matter if I build backlinks to it. Well, I mean, it could, but I didn't test that part. But the internal power all by itself is it stops at 5. So that's where my guess is you met that number. And then when you did your diversification, you actually went below that number. And that's why your rankings went down from the second page to page 8 because you changed you reduce the value that your website has for that particular thing. Once you get to that, in my case, once I get to the 5, then I start doing diversification. I start building other backlinks in anchors, and then you in that situation you use these keywords that Google is showing you in Search Console in the query list, and that will help you out. So hopefully that answers that question, Boris. Good question, though. Lewis, thanks. But niche site Twitter is always dramatic. Yes. The drama queens on the left and the right over in niche site Twitter, man. It's crazy. Oh, they're dying. Oh, they're great. They're dying. They're great. Just redonkulous. Yeah. Just build smart, Lewis. If you have a team and your steady pace is 20 posts a day, and your team is actually reading the content, making good images, using Grammarly, cleaning stuff up, honestly reviewing 20 posts a day on a topic, specifically a niche topic, then you're fine. If you find yourself building 20 posts a day and you're just pushing out AI content and you're not reading it, then you got to know that eventually they're going to come get you. Um, but if you have stupid good prompts, eventually it's going to be longer than the other. And so, it's all a risk game when you're playing this stuff. Me personally, I want to have some permanent assets. You know what I mean? So I have my test sites and I can go to town craziness. Everything that I do to clients' websites, I do to my own to digital ear. So that in that regard, I'm testing that. So, just and then my test sites where I'm like, let me push the boundaries of what I can get away with. And you have to understand that they're gonna take those out, right? Eventually. Eventually they're gonna get found, especially if you're teaching about them. What do you think of SGE? Is Google not launching it? I think the beta showed Google that SGE will actually reduce the clicks to ads in its various forms. I think that there will be some version of SGE there, but it won't be as um, end of the world as everyone said it is when they do launch it. Frankly, us SEOs, we like using it, or we like using AI. The average person, the average user, they don't think about AI as much as you guys do. Um, so and when they turned that thing on, it may have been, oh, that's cool, but also it reduced their ad their ad revenue, and they're like, oh, that's not so cool. So they just minimize it. And now they have their actual Gemini thing. And they'll probably make money with AI with that platform and the API stuff more than they will with the SGE stuff. So I kind of expect that's what that go. SGE will get some kind of baby version of it that replaces featured snippets. And our next task as search engine optimizers is to figure out how to get Google to use our information as a data source and cite us, which will be fun. Kind of figure that out if you're into that kind of testing. Charles, what is a review of Zista? I did a whole video on that, Charles, walking through there, but I like it. Fair, in the interest of full disclosure, the guy who owns it is my business partner in rank here, so I'm biased because I know that the guy behind it is a really cool dude. Um, but yeah, I like Zista. I'm in there almost every day. He's doing a really good job with it. The name sucks, but the tool itself is pretty cool. Google sold its domain name register unit to Squarespace. Yep. Yep. You kind of had to figure that that was going to happen. Just people don't have a trust thing with Google. They don't want to, in general. Marketers, SEOs, etc., aren't going to allow them to connect those two dots. And they didn't advertise it very well at all. It was just like, oh, we have Google domains now. Ta-da. And they thought they were going to get market share from GoDaddies and Namecheaps, et cetera. And that just didn't happen. So selling it to Squarespace was probably the best business deal for them. I don't expect Squarespace to monetize it very well either. Um, Short of offering free websites and then, oh, you buy your domain from us, et cetera, et cetera. Um, it'll be tied to their platform for sure. Duke, be careful with translation plugins that automatically translate your articles. Take that into consideration with your publishing rate. One article translates 15 articles a day. Yeah, that's a good point, Deke. Very, very good point. I'm not a big fan of we did a very long-term test on SIA where SEOintel.com has a blog, and Dory wanted to have a whole bunch of different languages on it because Dory does what Dory does, and that's what she wanted to do. And so We put that on there, and I can honestly say it was negligible difference in traffic for that website. I think HCU even hurt it more because there's not people reading the other versions. So even our news stories were being translated, and those news stories don't get attention, don't get traffic, don't get backlinks, and then the HCU grade score kicks in. And so if you look at the metrics for SEO Intel, that site is fucking horrid. If it wasn't for our promotion and email list, no one would go to that website. So, that's something we got to clean up. And I think that's probably a good lesson learned, dude. There's, one, make sure you're translating to languages that you actually want to support. English and Spanish, in my case, would make sense. English, Portuguese, probably not so much, Um, so that way, and then also have a way to promote those other languages that are on your site, those other domains. So if you think about it, you have a publishing paste and a syndication paste that creates 25 referring domains every time you publish. You also have to have that 25 referring domains for your Spanish version, for your German version, for your French version. So that stuff, that promotion, all adds up. I mean, it takes a lot of work and effort to accomplish that. And so, I'm of the opinion that while translation is cool, Neil Patel talked about how I think he doubled his traffic to his website by putting his articles in Portuguese. He also serves Portuguese market. And so if you're not serving that actual market, like me, I can't speak Spanish. I had at one time a team that was entirely in Mexico, rebuilding that team, by the way. Um, we got a whole cool project that we want to do. Um, but in so if I have Spanish speakers on staff, then I have no problem serving Spanish speaking businesses. And so I should have a Spanish speaking aspect of my website, right? It makes sense. But if you don't have any of those things, then save yourself the drama and don't use translated articles. That's my thought on it. There could be different opinions if I was just doing ecom, national ecom. I have one client that's at a Shopify store. If we started seeing his traffic increase outside of the US and he started getting more sales outside of the US, it would be a good consideration, regardless of having the language speakers or not, to translate the pages for the product pages for that country. So increase this to reduce the stress of the sale. So you got to bounce that out. All right. Well, I think that's it. You guys did awesome today. You kept me going. Appreciate you. Um, SEO at the beach. I went to that last week, just so you guys know, and I put out a couple. Well, I got some great information out of that, and here's what I'll tell you. I've been to a lot of conferences. SEO Spring Training is always my favorite. That's why I partnered with them this year. So if you go to seospringtraining.com, sign up to that. It's in April, um, and come say hi. So SEO Spring Training is also always good. SEO Rockstars, my partnership with Dory. I like that conference. I like going to it. I had less fun when I was actually, like involved in it. um, but I like SEO Rockstars, and I go to both of those conferences, and I walk away with something, not beyond um watching videos and all that stuff. I always tell you guys, regardless of who you're listening to, you should come away with something, or else you're literally wasting your time. You should come away with something to test. Those two conferences, and now SEO at the beach, are conferences where I literally came away with something that I could build a business off of, that I could use to increase my business. And so the I'm not necessarily going to do a whole roundup because I want to be selfish in this case and build my and use some of that information to build my business. But I will leave you with a couple of good takeaways that I remember. Number one, Brian Winham. If you don't know who Brian Winham is, you need to find a way to get a hold of him or talk to him or go see him speak or whatever, because Brian is smart as hell. And he's doing some stuff. Lewis, it would be good for you probably because you're in niche site stuff, and he's building out those websites using AI and making money. And they're actually like he showed a couple examples of his websites, and they were dope. They're really, really good. So Brian Winham is probably a guy that you should go try to see. And then James Slatter came out as well. Let me open up something here real quick while we're talking about conferences so you guys can see this. This is SEO spring training. So come sign up, come see us in person. Let me go here. There's me, so handsome. Um, that's Brian Whittam right here. This guy right here. Come the SEO spring training. If you don't come for anybody else, I would say it was safe to say if you came and watched his presentation, you're going to get your money back if you don't implement it. I will go out and say that. So come see Brian for sure. The other guy that oh the other guy that was worth coming to see is Matt Zimmerman. If you know Matt, he does Zimwriter, but what I didn't know about him is he's actually a patent attorney. So, and he does it. He still does. He's still a patent attorney. He's actively serving clients as a patent attorney while he's doing Zimwriter. And the reason I would recommend you come out to see him is because all of these tools, Search Atlas, Zista, Content Sprout, all of them are built on the idea that they have a good prompt that generates good content for you. And Matt is a creator of a software that creates content. And his presentation actually goes through what he's thinking about when he's making those prompts. So if you know that information, let's say you know that information, you have some extra time on your hands, and you take a search atlas or a Zimwriter piece of stuff, and you're like, how do I make this a little bit better? Knowing how Matt is thinking when he's doing his prompt generation to spit out the stuff that you're getting out of Zimwriter is gold. And now you can also, you know how much thought he's putting into it, you know how the process he came out to create it, and it all makes a whole lot more sense to you. So seeing Matt's presentation gave me a whole bunch of new ideas. And so I'm not saying that, oh, I'm gonna now that I know how to do the prompts, I'm gonna not do their software. No, it's like that. Ease of use, right? The user interface, and just push, boom, go. I like that too much. But I can also be able to fine tune stuff where I'm in markets that say maybe Matt's prompt can't handle as well, or maybe Search Atlas's thing can't handle as well. This addresses that. So seeing Matt is going to be worth it for sure. And then I don't think he's on here. We're trying to get him, but it's James Slatter. James Slattery is the other guy. And James has a whole bunch of family stuff. And so he was lucky to get the SEO at the beach. And I was lucky enough to actually finally meet him in person. And I think the thing that he shared with us at SEO at the beach is going to help me achieve my goals for Digital Ear this year. I don't know if I said this out loud on the show, but I know I said it in my mastermind is this year I'm bringing Digital Ear to $1 million earned revenue. And in order to accomplish that, I had to do some lead generation stuff, and I'm trying and testing the lead gen things. And one of those is LinkedIn outreach because everyone says it's doing good. I'll tell you right now, I'm $3,000 into it, and it's not doing good. And then the method that, and the other was direct mail. And the method that James shared at SEO at the Beach was a direct mail method. And I fucking love it because everything that he showed, I was like, I have that tool. I have that tool. I have that tool. I can do that. Boom. Easy. And so I think that I'm going to, well, I know that I'm going to implement that and build up digital ear. The goal for digital ear is by the end of the year to be making $85,000 a month in client work. And in order to accomplish that, in my particular niche, I only need 24 clients. There's a lot more than 24 client opportunities available out there, but I only need 24 of them at my rate in my niche to achieve 87,000. Is that what I think the math is? 87,000 a month. And then the other niche that I'm going to go into, which everyone's in, is roofing. And no big deal telling you guys that. So I'm going to do my primary niche, 24 clients, 87,000 a month. And then I'm going to get roofing clients. Those will be, those are, I would say, easier to fulfill, right? And we're going to, and that will be just the gravy money. You know what I mean? So, I don't want, we don't want to take on too many people. Also, at the same time, we want digital ear to actually be a good, steady, nice flow of income. I have 7 sources of income, definitely not fucking hurting for money. But I don't have this one thing that can go, you guys can all go, hey, that's Clint, and he does this, right? I get the YouTube show. I mean, that's cool, but you guys don't pay me money for YouTube. And YouTube certainly ain't paying me any money. So it's I wanna have this thing, this kind of legacy. And my youngest son is getting into or is into internet marketing more and more. You guys don't know, he does Page Optimizer Pro support. If you're reaching out to support from there, more than likely you're talking to my kid. And so I want to build digital ear up so that when it's time for me to, you know, hang it up in regards to the business side, I can just hand over that whole agency to him, and he'll be off and running, and can carry that torch. So that's what we're doing. So and the goal this year is again 87,000 a month, which brings the, if we at that pace, you're $1 million agency a year, and then we can build that up even more and more and more if we want to. If we want to scale it any higher than that, I'm not hurting for money. I don't need money, so at this point, you never know what tomorrow can bring. But I mean, so $1 million a month agency is a real good thing in 24 clients. And then we do the roofing clients. You expect, over a course of a couple of years to get 1 or 200 of those going on, depending on how we want to scale that. Maybe we just do 48 clients, 24 in one niche, 24 in another niche, in the roofing niche, and call it a day. You can scale with franchises and just go after the franchisor and become the agency of record for the franchisees, that kind of stuff. If you want to do that, plenty of opportunities. But James Slattery gave me, I think, the key to the kingdom in regards to how to get the 24 in my particular niche set up real good, real quick. So I'll be doing that. And so I think that's probably about all I want to share for SEO at the Beach. Other than should have been there because it was good. It wasn't on the beach though, but it was a good conference. All right, let's see. Let me roll out with the questions. Got 8 more minutes for the YouTube. Do you have any videos on Eat? Build backlinks. It's expertise, authority, and trust. is authority is the most important part in there, and it's really about backlinks. Uh, I think I've talked a little bit about the things that the algorithm can find. The algorithm can be trained to look for, is there an about page? Check. Is there a link to the contact us page? Check. Is there a privacy policy? Check. Is there a terms of service? Check. Those kind of things. Um, that everyone should have the author bio. Everything we tested said the author bio didn't really make all that much of a difference. But there is a video by Matt Diggity where he actually used ChatGPT to point out some things. And when he made modifications to his page based off of the recommendations from that video, some word placement actually helped increase the rankings. And it was not a lot. I mean, I think it took him longer to actually do the analysis than it took him to make the changes, and that increased the rankings. So, that said, backlinks should be the focus when you're worried about EAT. After you've taken all the other stuff, that think about what can algorithm math, what can, and since the algorithm can't read, it's got to be taught to look for specific things. And when you're talking about authority or trust and expertise and experience, it's the presence of the about page, presence of the contact us page, presence of backlinks, the presence of anchor text in the backlinks that says you are talking about or an expert or talking about that subject. Enough of those backlinks to say you're an expert in that subject, to signal you're an expert in the subject. Read the search quality guidelines. The last version, I downloaded the new version Friday, but I haven't read it yet. The last version, was really like maybe a page. So it's not as complicated as people are making out to be. Cecilia. Cecilia and I talked about laser engravers at SEO at the beach. That was a great conversation. In a similar like to White Spark situation, I had someone question me on expired domains, and as a result of the announcement, they no longer do any expired domain link building. Nice one. Yep. Expired domains are going to be cheaper now, for those who know. Keith, you sent me an email. Thanks. Another email to ignore. Tanya. Hi, Clint. If you had to come up with a formula to calculate relevance of two pages where one is linking to another, what would you use as inputs? You had to come up with a formula to calculate relevance of two pages where one is linking to another. I would look at the anchor text that the link is, and all other things be damned. No, that's a lie. Title tag, URL, H1, anchor text. Done. Page is relevant enough for me. And the H1 is that's an alternate. It's kind of like if the headings are all related, that's fine. But the actual relevance of one page to another is coming from the anchor text. You increase that relevance and that trust by title tag and URL containing the keyword that you're looking for. That's part of Greg Morrison's reverse sink or swim policy. So those are easy to do, especially if you make backlinks and you can control the title and the URL structure a little bit. Put your keyword in title and URL, keyword in your anchor text, boom, you're done. For me, it brought traffic, but it will get you clapped. What are you talking about? Oh, the translation stuff. Yeah. Clapped. Fucking clapped is annoying. There's so many old ass people now using clapped. They heard some young guy use the word clapped, and now they're talking about, oh, my site got clapped. Shut the fuck up. Duke, unless you're a Gen Zer, don't use clapped. I had this conversation in my mastermind too, so don't think I'm picking on you. I think it's just redonkulous. I think it was Jackie Index. Jackie is the first person that I heard use it, and then all of a sudden it was all over all over Twitter. Oh, your site's got clapped. Your site's got clapped. I'm like, get the hell up. I mean, Jackie is a young dude. I'm 50 years old and I ain't clapping shit. My side got penalized. My side got hit. Side got clapped. That's gay. Just busting balls, Deke, by the way. Not making funny. Just busting balls. Thanks for sharing your plans and numbers. My pleasure, Tanya. Yep. See, working style. Ah, clapped. Clap your ass. Yeah, clap this. All right. Sweet. 1 hour, YouTubers. Thank you very much for joining me. 30 of you showed up, 26 watching now. You're all awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of new videos coming up. Otherwise, just fucking subscribe. Watch the videos whole. If you don't watch them all, just put them on your computer in the other room and let them play. You can lie to YouTube for me and increase my exposure. I appreciate all of you. And I will check you. Oh, hold on. Sean snuck in there. One last question. I got 1 minute, so I can answer Sean's question. Why are you looking for roofers specifically? Is it the profit you make or is it easier niche? I have two roofers, by the way. One, I did the franchise work, large roofing company. Um, 20 franchisees a month, new 20 franchisees a month in that roofing company. And I had um pretty much got that niche down pat, like my other one. So it makes sense. And then two, I was niching down, kind of make the process easier. Um, does that mean I'm going to always just only do my one niche and roofers? No, I'll probably add others. Um, but I had to pick a niche. Got to pick a niche, kind of focus to for building my plan. I want to reach specific markets because I can do marketing campaigns. Create a marketing campaign document to target specific niches versus targeting everybody. Because if you try to be everything to everybody or nothing to everyone, if you focus on a niche, Sean, it's just easier. And trust me, you can go back to all my videos. I'm like, fuck niching. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do everything. I enjoy, and I do enjoy working on everything. So I'm not going to turn down a client that comes that's not in my niche, but all my marketing focus will be on my two niches. And then if and when it's time to I've exhausted that, or I want to go into another market, or I find a cooler market to do, or one that works really well, then I'll build that on. And now I have the marketing plans for two markets already, two niches already done. So transitioning to a third will be easy, especially, with the pathway to get there is how I'm going to take it. I can create information sites, directories, etc., and learn the market, learn what I need to do to rank in it, and then reach out to clients and have case studies and all that proof, and it's easy peasy. So that's that's really it. Nothing macabre. There was a lot of other ones that I was looking at, but roofers, I was like, fuck, I already know roofers. Why am I making this so hard? I'll just do roofers for right now. And then we'll go and add other people later or other niches later as need be. Um, like adult, for example. I wouldn't turn down an adult client. I'm not an idiot. The last adult client was paying me $40,000 a month to rank his websites. And they're still there. Mass backlinks, by the way. Black hat is black ink backlinks you can find. Still ranking just fine. So yeah, $40,000 a month was really nice. You can live off of that, just by the way. Okay. Thank you all for coming again. And